So I'm going to tell you why professional sport is very corrupt. A lot of people don't realize that. They look at them and say, they just trained a lot, and they got really good. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's not the case at all. Yeah, of course, training and lifestyle and stuff. That's probably the most important factor when it comes to success. But also the final 5% is performance enhancing drugs. Okay. There could be many factors. Could be asthma medication, could be EPO, steroids, blood transfusions, testosterone. That's it's like this in all sports are professional. I guarantee, like you don't hear anything about it in soccer. I guarantee there's widespread doping in soccer because, I watched a video saying that the average professional soccer player gets tested once every 3.5 years. All right, so yeah, I don't, I do believe there's widespread doping, things like EPO, blood transfusions, steroids, testosterone. I know for the distance runners, they take it's mostly EPO and blood transfusions, but I think for soccer players, it's probably like a 50-50 mix of the two because endurance is not as important, and I think speed and power is more important. So I think it's like a 50-50 balance, kind of like say Rudisha, who runs the 4 and the 800 meters. I think for a professional footballer, it's kind of similar to him you know, in terms of anaerobic and aerobic fitness. Probably depends a little bit based on varies a little bit from position to position, depending on what the manager wants from the player, do they want them running, 10 miles a match and covering counter attacks, or do they want them up front, not covering a huge amount of ground, but when they get the ball to sprint at full tilt and run through defenses, it just depends. But yeah, it's hard, being in professional sport and having a lot of other people dope around you, and the pressures of doping are too big. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a professional runner, but I'm glad I didn't make it because it's just there'd be so much pressure involved, and I realized that chasing success in sport is not necessarily the best way to live. I think the main reason you do it should be enjoyment, and of course I was led the wrong way with my father being very, very serious. He coached me and it was extremely serious, and and he was a negative influence, and a lot of other people have negative influences in their life who take everything so seriously. And even my coach at school, he rarely ever trained us. He trained us twice a week at the max, but he's still very, very serious. I'm like, Jesus, you don't have to be so serious. Just commit yourself without being so serious. Have them out training, have your runners out training at least 4 times a week. Show up on the weekends to help train people, and yeah, you do that, and you can have a bit of fun with it. You don't, it's just